After just sitting in on a murder trial, the man immediately struggled to breathe and his heart raced. He vomited uncontrollably in the courtroom and returned home in a daze. But this wasn't because of the brutality of the crime, quite the opposite. His instincts told him that he was the real killer. A year earlier, on the day of the incident, the accused man and his girlfriend were drinking at a bar. They got into an argument and eventually left on bad terms. Campbell happened to be at the same bar. On his way home, he suddenly had an accident. After the crash, Campbell quickly got out to assess the damage, but strangely, there was nothing around. He chalked it up to bad luck and drove away. What he didn't know was that the next morning, a hiker discovered a fresh female corpse near the accident site. The medical examiner determined that the woman had died the previous night from severe head trauma. Naturally, her boyfriend, who had just had a big fight with her, became the police's prime suspect. Back in the present, as Campbell listened to the case details in court, he immediately realized that what he had hit that night probably wasn't the road at all. Under tremendous pressure, he endured until the end of the hearing, then rushed to find his lawyer friend. After explaining the whole story, Campbell finally asked what concerned him most. If he confessed now, would there be any chance of leniency? However, the lawyer's answer hit him like a ton of bricks. For someone like Campbell with a prior DUI record, once implicated, he'd be looking at a minimum of 30 years. Thinking of his unborn child, the man completely abandoned the idea of turning himself in. The next day in court, the suspect, Mike, finally had his chance to defend himself. His version mostly matched the police investigation. After leaving the bar that night, they continued arguing. Initially, he followed behind his girlfriend, but seeing she wasn't willing to apologize, he left her and drove home. To this day, Mike deeply regretted his decision. If he had just swallowed his pride, perhaps his girlfriend wouldn't have been killed. The man's sincere remorse genuinely moved the jury. However, the appearance of a key witness completely changed his fate. This elderly man claimed he had been at the scene of the crime. Hearing this, Campbell broke into a cold sweat. The person the old man saw was clearly him. What made him even more desperate was when the prosecutor asked the elderly witness if the person was present at the scene that night, and the witness answered affirmatively. Campbell thought it was all over for him, but what happened next was completely unexpected.